Donald Wesley, man.
Yes, there he is.
We're here. We're here, man. We're here.
Yeah, brilliant to have you on. Absolutely fantastic to have you on. I've been looking forward to this all week.
It's a pleasure. Likewise, Wesley.
I really have been looking forward to this one. So just letting a few people jump in.
Sweet.
But welcome to the Gunman Insta Live. Proudly brought to you by DKM Plus Boxing, the #1 white collar and unlicensed boxing organisation in the UK. My name's Wesley the Gunman Graham, and this is my special guest, Will, all night long. Yeah, we're basically going to be going through some questions with you, and we just want to find out a little bit more about yourself. But if you like this content, please follow me. The content's free. It's free to follow me. I'm going to be interviewing bare knuckle fighters, journeymen, referees, coaches, knockout artists such as Will over the next few weeks. So please do follow and like the channel, and so we can press forward. So Will, the baddest man in unlicensed boxing. How does that sound?
Man, it sounds, because it's truthful. I'll leave it there.
Yeah, I mean that's a serious title to have. And does it bring pressure for you?
You know what? it sounds like it would bring pressure, but I was generally raised from my mom to make love to pressure. So when we get pressure, we utilize it for good purposes. So yeah.
You know, that does definitely bring pressure for sure. You know, everyone's gunning for you, Will. Well, yeah. Actually, tell a lie. Everyone's running from you. Everyone's running from you. But you know, there is going to be a few that are going to want to take you out. That's for sure.
100. There's still fighters out there that believe that they can get a W over me. So I gotta keep an eye out for them. You know?
Yeah, exactly. And you can't afford to take your eye off the ball at all.
No, definitely not. Definitely not, indeed.
Yeah. So what I want to do, I'm going to just go through. I just want to show the audience a clip of, you know, for those that don't know you, it makes sense to start with this knockout. And I want to speak to you a little bit about this, how it's sort of changed your profile. Perhaps it's not getting you the fights now that you deserve because you've overperformed.
Yeah.
Maybe not even overperformed, sorry. I should say you've shown us a snippet of what you're about, you know? So I'm just going to just show the audience a little clip of this. Just to show what show the guys what we're dealing with here. Now look at this. I mean, who comes out with a balaclava on for starters? I mean, I don't know about you, mate. I'd be if my opponent came out like that, I'd be in an Uber straight away. So here you are, coming out, balaclavaed up, climbs over the top rope, looking like serious business. I mean, this guy. You threw him to a side and basically malfunctioned him. You know, absolutely wrapped him up like a sausage roll. You know, the guy's eyes still open. Look at that. I mean, I don't even know why the ref's still there. He doesn't even need to do a job. You know, malfunctioned him. You know what I mean? Is that how you're carrying on?
Yeah, that's a new one. I've heard so many words. I've heard so many like expressions of the knockout and the malfunction. That's a new one. I like that one. I like that one. Yeah,
it's like you short-circuited him, isn't it? You know, like there's nothing was going to work after that. You know, brutal, absolutely brutal. I mean, and the funny thing that makes me laugh is you knocked the guy into a different postcode and nobody knows his name. Like you've knocked him out so hard that no one knows the guy's name.
That's the crazy thing. He doesn't have Insta. He's not really a social media person, from what I've been told.
He's now a meme. So that was posted by TalkSport, I think ESPN. I remember Lennox Lewis posting that.
First.
How's that been for you? Has that changed your life in a way? You know, if people know who you are, or you can't get the fights. How's that been for you? Of course, it's positive, I'd say.
Well, it's had advantage and disadvantage. Good advantages. Someone like Lennox Lewis. This is someone that I genuinely look up to. Like, I watched Tyson live when I was a kid. The fact that he was able to see the video and comment on it and respond to my message, it shows you that you know, I'm on my journey. So that I'm not alone. Someone is watching me. And Linuxes. The disadvantage is fighters, you know, are intimidated. You know, so a lot of fighters are they do feel like it's not smart for them to take the fights with me. So that's the disadvantage at the moment.
Yeah. Yeah, no one wants that
No
smoke.
one wants to smoke, man.
No one wants that smoke, mate.
No one
Mate,
wants.
you know what I mean? Who's sticking their hand up to be whacked into SW16? You know what I mean? No one's going to be. You know what I mean? No one's going to. You're not going to get people queuing up for that.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
no, I don't blame them. I actually don't blame them.
Yeah, I mean that's real heavy-handed stuff. I mean, so give me what would you say it is with power? Your knockout power? Would you just say you're born with it and it's just brute strength? Is it timing? Is it the way you rotate? Is it something that can be learned?
Yeah.
What would you say is the key to the knockout?
I would say is there's always an advantage. I feel like with most things, people are always going to have to be ahead of the game. So you can call it talent to an extent. So some people are gonna start off with like better things, but there's always work to it. So I do work on my coach, call him the method man. He's taught me how to rotate. You know, he's taught me how to leverage more power. And of course, I do strength and conditioning. And a lot of people that don't know, one of my secret training, I use an axe. So at least you chop logs and bits of wood in my mom's garden.
Bloody hell.
So,
so you use an axe, you wear a balaclava. I mean, so I mean, like you've got to say there is an element of psychological warfare to your posture and your and what you've brought to the table. You know, so that knockout, you know, and coming out with a balaclava and knocking people out like that, and you know, you're now finding it difficult to get the fights that you want because of that. Do you try to prey on you know, the psychological side of things, a bit like Tyson did? He won fights before he got in the ring because it scared people off. Do you prey on that, or is it something that you don't really think about?
No, I definitely prey on it because the genuine answer is I believe every fighter wants to leave the ring. Like, we all want to leave the ring safe. That's the aim of the game. I believe the aim is to win, of course, but you want to win and leave as safe as possible. So if I can use the intimidation to win the fight before and to my advantage, I always do so.
Yeah, absolutely. That makes absolute sense. So listen, we've got an absolute huge announcement. As I said, a few more guys jumping in. As I said, please follow the Gunman Insta Live. Got some cracking interviews coming up, brought to you by DKM Plus Boxing. We've got a huge announcement that's coming up now. And what we'd like to announce is that your next fight on our platform has been set up with Kai Forder. And the winner of that fight will be offered the opportunity to win a pro contract, which is a huge announcement. It's something that me, for sure, I'd love to see in the pros. Love to see you in the pros. Either of you, actually. You're both very good fighters. But yeah, that's going to be a mouth-watering fight. I think it's going to be later on in the year at the O2, I believe, but 2024. So what would you like to say about that?
Well, I have to say, Kai is definitely. I'm looking forward to meet Kai. He's a good. I don't know him well enough, but from what I've seen and heard, he's definitely a good brother, and he's definitely a good boxer too. But at the end of the day, I'm gonna have him on my list, just as all my other fighters. Kai is gonna be on my list. Yeah. But I don't take him lightly. I know Kai is a good boxer. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that absolutely makes sense. Yeah. So I want to get into your style, you know, and where you started, because I'm a student in the game, and I love like different styles of boxing, and I want to just get into the bit of your background. So where did you start? Where did you start boxing, and when did you start boxing?
So I started boxing specifically, I would say, a good 6 years ago. A good 6 years, and I started it in Fight for Change. Fight for Change is a boxing gym in Lambeth. So I
Right.
started here with my brother, who's my coach now. He's actually my coach. So I said, I just said randomly to him, I spoke to him, I said, I want to do boxing. I said, you should hop along. And he said, hey, I've always wanted to do boxing too.
Yeah.
Literally, it's got us to this journey now.
Yeah, yeah. Brilliant. But that wasn't your coach now. So your coach now is your brother, is it?
Yeah, he's my brother. He's been coaching me for a good 3 years now. Good 3 4 years.
So how did that transition work? So he started, at that gym, and then how did that work out that you came to your brother? Because that's a great little story. You don't see many siblings working with each other in that manner, to be honest with you. I can't think of any in the pro ranks, for example, in the high profile pro ranks where you've got a brother training another sibling. So how did that work out? And do you listen to him all the time? Do you have fights with him?
That's a funny one. You know what? It's crazy because I never would have expected it. If you would have asked me from the beginning, I would have been like, no. Not that I don't believe he can, but it's just something. It's not something that you would think your brother would coach you.
Yeah.
But
I mean, me and my brother fight like cats and dogs, and we don't listen to each other at the best of times. So it's amazing chemistry that you've got, and your brother's a lovely guy. From when I've spoken with him, mainly on socials, yeah, he's a lovely guy, and the chemistry between you can see it. I think I saw you guys. I literally saw you knocking out the pads the other day. I think I commented, like, I didn't know pads could get knocked out.
yeah,
Your poor brother's hands. I mean, they're going to be destroyed if you carry on like that.
Yeah, I did tell him. You're for the coach, you're gonna have to deal with that. He's aware of that.
Occupational hazard, let's just call it.
We can pull in that terms.
Comes with the territory.
Yeah,
so I'm going to answer a couple of the fan questions. So we've got people asking, who else is on the list apart from Forder on your hit list then? And that's a good question.
That's a good question. Does it have to come on the DMK show? Could it be any other fighter?
No, it can be. It's an open forum here. It's an open forum. It can be any opponent.
Well, we got a fighter that did call me out before. His name is Wisdom. He called me out. So Wisdom is next. I wanna be fighting him next year.
Yeah, that's a rematch, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a rematch.
I watched the first fight actually, and I wanted to come on to that fight actually at some point. But while we're on it, we may as well, because one of the questions that was asked in on the poll that we put up yesterday, one person asked, "Would you take a rematch?" And I personally don't think that fight's worth a rematch. I personally don't, because you knocked the guy down, not knocked him down. So you standing counted him twice, I think, in round 4, I think, or round 3. So I just don't understand why it was a clear victory, I felt. I don't think it needed. He troubled you for a little bit. That was it. I think that's why, I think the first 2 rounds, arguably, you could give him, arguably. But I think with the 2 knockdowns, I think it was coming in 1 round. I think that's pretty clear in a short fight as well. So I personally I wouldn't be that excited to see that fight. I think the Forder fight is interesting because he's got that amateur training, and he's a bit straighter. He's got a good background. He's hungry. Yeah. You've got a guy who's hungry to fight you. You've got a guy who's called you out and wants to fight you. You're not used to that, so it makes it interesting. No. But the Wisdom fight, I'm sure the boys at DK might even ask about that. But I know that was on another promotion, Wicked and Bad, wasn't it? Yeah, that was on previously. Yeah. But I don't know why you need to go back to that personally, but I get what you're saying. So other than that, so you're coaching with your brother now. I just want to get into your style. So you've got a very open-handed, like laces facing forward style. Yeah. It's throwback. It's real throwback. That's how Jack Johnson, even like Dempsey, some of the older school fighters would lead with their laces open. So it's really interesting to see, you're not tight up on your chin. I was always tight up on my chin. See a lot of fighters. We had Wayne Alexander on here the other day. He's a double guard, and he's head forward quite a lot. You know, and so there's loads of different styles. Where's yours come from? Have you just kind of gone with what you feel comfortable with?
So my style is more or less come from my coach. So I feel like he's done the. I have tried other styles. So I have tried the up guard style to an extent, but in terms of comfortability, I think he's noticed that I'm more comfortable with this style.
Yeah.
So he's just refined, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. So a couple of other questions. Have many of your fights gone the distance?
Yeah. They have gone to the distance.
Yeah. How many is that saying? How many of your fights has gone to the distance? One of the questions.
So out of the fights, so I've had 9 fights altogether so far. I could say so. Wisdom's one. I had 1 to 2 so far. 3 out of 9.
3 out of
Top
9.
of my head.
Yeah. Quick maths.
Yeah, quick maths. Good, quick 3.
Quick 3. Yeah. Again, we mentioned wisdom fight. They probably only want the rematch because they took you the distance. To be honest with you, because you really knocked him down twice in a round. So. No, it doesn't go in as a knockdown, but it's clear, you know. Let me just answer a few more of these questions, and I've got a handful of my own ones that I need to get through. OJ Steve-O saying my bro will be putting guys to sleep. Alia, that knockout at the O2 was the cleanest shot. And then where do you see yourself going as a pro? M Weatherhead, where do you see yourself going as a pro? What would be, if you turn pro, what would you aim for? Can you go all the way, or would you be happy to just get English or just get a Southern, or where do you feel your limits are?
Yeah, that's a good question. Definitely, I want to go all the way. Definitely go all the way. In Fabio Wardley, he's definitely he's coming from the white collar scene as well. He's been one of the best examples. Just won his British title against, you know. So along his likes, get to the top. You know, whether it's through the British title, whatever route, but the aim is to definitely get to the undisputed.
Yeah, and so yeah, M Weatherhead is also just saying, "Good luck, bro." That's the same guy I asked those questions. Where did the name All Night Long come from?
Yeah,
I think I know, but I've got to ask these questions, haven't
I? I've had a few people ask me that. I've told them, "Hey, I'll tell you on the live show." Let's be here now. So, All Night Long came from, it's a word that my coach used to use.
Yeah. So
you train at a park. We have a local park, a legendary park in Plumstead Common, right? And we do our training, our infamous training.
Yeah.
Majority of the people that train and run around the area, they're aware of us. And every time we train, we'd run, my brother would shout All Night Long. So it would let me get tired. He would just shout that, and it would give me a certain buzz, a certain energy. When my legs are dead, a spirit will just come over. So he just went along and said, "Hey, I'm going to call you that."
Yeah.
I just went.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Yeah, it's absolutely brilliant. Yeah, I thought it was something else, actually.
Yeah, I know. I know. That's a whole nother conversation.
I didn't think it was something else, mate, but I like this story. That story's a bit more PG than what I was thinking.
I'll take another sip for that one.
Oh, that's the B-side story.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it. So you and I have got more in common than you know.
Yeah.
So I've been watching you for a while. I always know the landscape of boxing anyway, having been in it myself, and I always know the landscape. And now I'm commentating, doing commentary work. I know the rosters pretty well. I'm always tracking fighters, watching fighters. So I've known you a while. But one thing we do have in common is Miguel's. Miguel's, my cousin, was a coach there, for 30 years, the late Granville Williams. He was a coach there for 30 years, coaching the amateurs. He's passed away a couple of years ago now, but he used to train Freezy and a couple of really talented amateur fighters down at Miguel's. And I used to speak to him regularly on WhatsApp about boxing. That's what we were doing in the evenings, to talk about boxing. Have you seen this fight? Have you seen that fight? He'd be saying, I've got these amateurs that's come in. I've got this guy that's come in. He looks quite good. And we'd just talk boxing. And I used to know about these guys. And he dragged me into my first boxing gym, which was McGrail's, trained me to fight and got me into it. I first went down there hungover, hungover as hell, thinking I was really good and like blowing after a minute on the bag. And I remember seeing Freezy spar and a few of the other guys down there. And it was like, honestly, it was like the Wild West, the way they sparred. And I was looking in at these guys. I'd never had a fight before, but I was looking at them and going, I looked up to these guys. I was younger and I was looking up to them. And then I saw you sparring with Freezy. And I'm going to just show you a little clip of some of your sparring, just a small little clip. And I will add straight away, you've adapted so much as a fighter since this clip. Mm-hmm. It's unbelievable the progress you're making. But you boys do not go easy, do you?
I'm trying to think of the clip because there's so many,
Oh, there's so many. And listen, there was too much to choose from. But like, look, here you go. Let's check this out, okay? I just wanted to show the user, the supporters jumping on the live, some of this stuff. And so here we go. Here's you and Freezy. And look at this. I mean, you wouldn't believe that you two are mates.
I love it. Well,
I mean, what a sport this is, where when you're friends with someone, you punch them in the face all afternoon and then you're still mates.
Yeah.
Look at this shot from you coming up, this uppercut. What's this? Oh. Oh. Yeah, so that was that. Yeah, so, I mean, that's just 20 seconds. I don't want to show too much, but like, wow, honestly, it hurt me just watching it. Right? And do you think sparring needs to be that hard? Or do you always spar that hard?
No, I don't always spar that hard. But I do believe there has to be at one point, there has to be some sort of reflection of the fight. It doesn't have to be the rest of the rounds. Could be a round, could be a second, half the round. But I do believe it has to be implemented.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, I always say, I always think, longevity can go if you spar that hard. I think I see some people leave their work in the gym because they've sparred so hard all the time. Yeah. But I definitely think if you're going to fight, you haven't got a better simulation. There's not a better simulation than sparring. And then I've got a question here. The harder you spar, the better you'll improve. Yeah, we just mentioned that. Yeah, to an extent, but I think also tech sparring is key. And sparring hard close to a fight. What do you think about sparring hard close to a fight, Will? Like really close, last sort of week, last 10 days.
Oh, that's very that's very tough. I would spar hard with someone you spar upon that you really trust, that can really throw their power even in heated moments, because it's very risky. It's very risky. But then again, I'm not the coach, to be honest. Yeah. That's something my coach would answer, but
yeah. Well, I see your coach has just joined us.
Yes.
So I'd love him to answer. Does he need to spar hard all throughout the camp, especially in the latter stages? That's what we want to know. So if anyone throw up their thoughts on that, your coach is in, so if he does that, it's even going to be better. Yeah, so listen, you knock mans out for fun, and with that comes haters. There comes lovers, but there comes haters. Yeah. The haters are going to say, this guy's fought nobody. What do you say to that?
I just smile and I just say, only if you knew how hard I hit. Only if you could taste the leather.
Yeah.
What I can say.
Most of those guys haven't laced off a pair of gloves.
No.
The haters are gonna say his technique stinks. What are you gonna say to that?
I say you haven't done your homework. That's my answer to him.
The haters are gonna say this guy's got no punch resistance. His chin has not been tested.
Ooh.
What are you going to say to that?
You should be in my sparring.
Just say, come down to the gym.
Speak, you know what? Speak to my sparring partners.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a great answer. Speak to my yeah, exactly. And I'll be honest, if they've seen the sparring with Freezy,
Yeah.
you've got a chin. You've got a chin. You've got a chin.
Yeah.
I've seen you got whacked in
Yeah.
that same clip actually
Literally.
earlier on. You just took it and marched forward. So no one ain't gonna get you're gonna give you that. Okay. And lastly, the haters might say, well, what's gonna happen when someone can take this guy's power? What else has he got? He hasn't got anything else. What are you gonna? What's your response to that?
What happens if you can take my power?
Yeah, if I fight you, I can take your power. You can't knock me out. What else have you got? You're gonna run out of ideas. That's what this is what your doubters will say about you and will think about you.
Oh, we'll take it to the scoreboard. I'll still get the W.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, I mean, as I said, you will get, you get critics with everything you do, and the thing is, when you're getting critics, well, it's good because it means that you're doing something right. No one's bothered about you when you're not doing anything.
True.
When you're winning all the time, then people hate you. They start hating you.
True.
So there are question marks still about your chin and your technique, your punch, your punch resistance. Has he been tested? Has he been in with a decent level operator? You're going to get all of that, but every single person that is put in front of you, you've put on an absolute show. And some of that knockout, I mean, that knockout was different gravy. It really was.
I appreciate.
So have you ever been dropped?
That's a good question.
They're all good questions.
I think this is the part when I say, "Oh, my phone's about to die." you know what? I'm gonna say it honestly. I've been hit from shots where my eyes have just gone all the way behind my head. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be blatant honest, but I still haven't touched the canvas.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I'll
you haven't got your fingers and toes crossed down there, have you?
all clear. Nothing but wind between them.
Right. No. As I said, I've got to ask you challenging questions. Like you said, we want to know about, we want to know about everything, and keep the questions coming, people. Yeah, no matter how tough the questions are or awkward, we want to. Like I said, this is a fully loaded interview, no silencer. We want to find out about this man. So yeah, you've not been dropped. You've not been dropped. So I just want to get onto your coaching team. So like I said, your brother's your coach. So who else is in that side? I see you a lot of Moreno boxing. I've never been to that gym, but I've heard brilliant things about them. And if you can just elaborate a little bit more about that gym and the people around you and your team.
Yeah. So Moreno's a great gym. Moreno's owned by a guy called Carlos. He's the owner and the head coach of the gym. And we're partnered with the gym, and Carlos is a guy he's worked with. He's a guy who's been in the amateur game for high level one term. A lot of knowledge in the game, and he also has a good heart. What makes the team strong. He's playing with other coaches in Moreno's gym. I'm gonna shout out to them; they're doing well as well. But more or less on the AMC team, obviously the Method Man, aka that's my brother, that's my coach.
Yeah.
The spar also we've got other fighters in our team as well. They help make my fighting game strong. So they're all part of the process.
Yeah. So who are you mainly sparring down there? Is any individuals that you're repeatedly sparring, or are you bringing in new sparring all the time?
Yeah, so we've been sparring. Also, we're bringing in sparring. We've got our main sparrings, guys. We've got a guy from our team. His name is Kings. He's an upcoming fighter as well. So he's a cruiserweight.
Was that he just boxed in the exhibition just recently?
Yeah, he did. He fought on the BXGP. I think that was his last. He fought one of those fights. He fought one of the BXGP fights. That was in.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he looks tidy. Yeah, I've seen him. Yeah, he looks tidy.
So,
Yeah, nice hand positions. Yeah, nice and tight. Yeah, good, decent operator. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, but you have to tone it down. You tone it down.
You have to keep it safe, you know. You gotta keep it safe to an extent. But these guys are good. They can hold their own as well. Kings are good.
I know, I mean, that's what I mean. But like I said, I just showed you sparring freezing.
Yeah.
You guys are mates, and you're taking his head off.
Yeah.
Vice versa, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, so yeah, that's a gym and a team. When you at Double Jab, correct me if I'm wrong. Were you not at Double Jab for a little while?
No, so I sparred there, so I've never fought there, but because Freezy was Freezy used to train there a lot.
Yeah.
The one that was that was the gym that I would spar Freezy at a lot of the times. Yeah.
Oh, so you just go there as a sparring guest? You never really train there?
Yeah, never really. I mean, I've trained there with Freezy. You know, we'll do sometimes I'll spar. We've done a few sessions, but it was never a thing where I'll train there as a boxer. And I wouldn't say so.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Now that's good. That clears things up.
Yeah.
So look, I wanted to put a question to you.
Yeah.
And it's something I want to put to all my guests, really.
Yeah.
Why is boxing the only sport where you don't know the score while the match is going on? If you go in, look at the TV and the football game's on, you see it's 2-1. If you watch tennis, you see, oh, that person's 2 sets up and a break up. You're watching Formula One and you look at the leaderboard. Where's Hamilton? He's third at the moment. Boxing, you don't know the score. And I'm actually think it'd be good if you put the scores up in boxing. Personally, I'm pro doing it. So the fighters, the participants, if you like, of the sport know who's winning. Would you like to know if you're winning or not? Is it
I would genuinely wouldn't mind. But I do think there is a reason to why it's set up like that.
Yeah, so they can manipulate the results.
Bro, I was gonna try to avoid that conversation.
so they can rob your ass.
Hey, yeah,
Take the balaclava off of you.
we've seen so many of that in history.
Yeah. Go on. What was your thoughts anyway? Go on.
Well, I generally, when you look at boxing and the history of it, coming from bare knuckles fighting from the UK, and the people that put the money behind the sport, a lot of it did come from corruption, if we have to be honest. So it's not a shock, you know, that could be partially the reason. But I do think it's a good mystery. I think it kind of brings that buzz that when for the fans who's watching, you don't know who's winning, you think they're winning. It gives that buzz, that mystery.
It kills robberies though. If we put the scores up, there's no way there's any more robberies anymore. Because me and you can be fighting, you could be beating the life out of me, and then at the end of the round, when it gives me the round 10-9, then that organisation or the referee or whatever will look like the laughing stock. So it's just gonna. I hate robberies. I think it sometimes ruins our sport when you see some shocking decisions. Unfortunately, I never had your knockout power, so I didn't. A lot of my guys were going to points. You know, I mean, I'm more of a peck you to death kind of man. You often take it out of your judge's hands, which is lovely. But you know, if you ever eat a wrong decision, it's really hard. And I'll be honest, I'm not just saying this as a DKM plus, you know, as a DKM plus advocate or ambassador. But we don't really have any really bad robberies on our show. Honestly, we haven't. Like we literally, I've been commentating a few shows now, so I'm watching all the fights right through the whole undercard, and I'm not seeing anyone really robbed. And I think people's perception of a robbery is, oh, it's a close fight and it went the wrong way. No, robbery is when someone gives someone a beat down and it goes the wrong way. And you're lucky you haven't had that yet. But I'm kind of like using this platform to campaign a little bit against the robberies and how can we solve this, and can we try and make the scoring open, you know, to alleviate it. But yeah, I know what you're saying. I do agree with what you're saying, and that, you know, it does have that mystery, the mystery of boxing of who's won. And you don't want fighters quitting because they know they're miles behind and they just go, oh, quit now, you know? Yeah, so it's a tricky one. I do agree with that. Let's get back to the Kai Forder fight then. So it's for a pro contract. DKM Plus will sponsor the winner, pay for your medicals, sponsor anyone on their journey, on their professional journey. What do you know about Forder? Have you seen him fight?
Well,
you don't know much about him.
Well, I did see a Forder corporate creep into the live, so I'm gonna have to minimize my answer on this. But now I'll say this. I'll
speak free. Speak free.
I'll say I know a bit more than Kai than he thinks he does.
Yeah.
I like to call myself Einstein. I'm a geek in boxing. I'm the kid in school that will just ask for more homework.
Yeah.
When it comes to boxing, I'm the kid that you're gonna hate, and that's me. But I know a lot more than he thinks. He does. I know.
So was he ever on your radar, or did he just come on your radar because he wanted to fight and you're just giving him what he's wished for?
No,
or did you know about him?
I've actually watched Kai. I've seen him a little bit before. I did see him. You know, I wouldn't necessarily say he was someone that I would say I want to fight him, but I always looked at him and other fighters. But yeah.
Yeah. Any more?
But I'll put it out there. Kai fought a guy that I couldn't knock out. He fought a guy called Jasper. Jasper's a good fighter. You know, he's fought DMK.
On my undercard, we'll add that bit in.
Yeah. That was a good show.
That's going to be my claim to fame one day. I'll be like, Will all night long. You remember that guy? You know, the heavyweight champ? He was on my undercard. He fought on my Night of Champions, the original night on my undercard. That'd be my claim to fame.
Hey.
I'll be able to tell the grandkids out. Look at that guy on the box.
That's history. You know, that's 02. And I couldn't the guy like Jasper, I couldn't knock him out. I didn't knock him out. I'm not gonna give no excuses. I didn't take Jasper out that day. Kai fought Jasper, he took him out in the third round, clean. Yeah. Clean KO, didn't get up. So it's gonna be a good fight. You know, this is a guy who's knocked out an opponent that I couldn't knock out. So it's gonna be a fair fight. No one else can say, oh, he's a bum or he doesn't match my power speed. It's going to be a fair matchup, you know.
JRTV Productions. I knocked him out. Is that Forder? Is that what you mean, JR?
Yeah.
He knocked out Forder or Jasper. You mean? He means Jasper, doesn't he? He must be talking about, right?
No, that's my guy. I know he's trying to talk about me.
Oh, he knocked you out. He
wouldn't even do that in his dreams.
Yeah, mate. It's a lot. Oh, he's talking about Jasper, he's saying.
Oh, he's talking about Jasper. Oh, okay. That's my brother.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, Jasper's a tough fighter, and it's a good barometer for this fight, to be honest with you. I think everyone's really excited about it. I think, for me, as a fight fan, it's interesting that Forder's called you out, and he wants this fight, and he's hungry for it. A lot of guys are carrying, and there's that aura around you, which you're really sort of, in a way, it's preventing you from getting the fights that you want. Yeah. So almost again, like when we go back to the haters that might say you haven't fought anyone. Well, you're fighting anyone who wants some, but no one wants some. You know, no one wants some, and you can't do anything about that. JRTV Productions is coming for your spot. I like this guy.
Jordan. JRTV, one of the best videographer productions out there. You know,
yeah, brilliant. Yeah, absolutely quality. So, have you got a final message for Kai Forder before the fight? Is there anything you want to say to him? Look down the camera and tell him what's going to happen.
Kai, I'll just say between me and him, I think he knows. You know, it's all love. He knows I'm just as much of a good brother as he is. But he knows at the same time, when we get in the ring, Kai, I think we both know what's going to happen. I'll just leave it there.
Yeah.
Both knows.
Well, we're really looking forward to that fight. It is on DKM Plus promotions. It is scheduled for the O2, date to be confirmed. It's a fight that the fight fans are definitely looking forward to. I think we want to see you in some tests now, Will. I mean, it's not your fault, like I said. but we want to see you in these big fights now. And I, for one, would love to see you go pro, and I will be following your journey for sure, 100%. But I want to thank you massively for coming on today and taking your time. I really appreciate it, and I'd love to get you back on the Gunman Live before your big fights happen. So before your big fights come up, I'd love to get you on and just see your journey and see how you're prepping, and you know, just so the fans can share your journey. So yeah, listen, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on. Absolute true champion, knockout artist, wrecking machine, balaclava man that knocks people out with their eyes open. He beats his friends up in the gym. All right, that's, you know, that's a serious operator right there. And so yeah, best of luck then, Will. And as I said, to anyone who's on the live, thank you very much for your support. Thanks for tuning in. This will also be recorded, and I'll post it on YouTube and Twitter and TikTok and across all media channels so people can watch back. Please like, please follow the Gunman Boxing. We're going to have some really good interviews coming up. We've got referee Seamus Dunn up next, which will be brilliant. Come in and ask the refs some questions, you know. So it's going to be really good. And Will, thank you. Thanks again, mate. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you, man.
I really look forward to the journey, and especially the next knockout.
Definitely. I'd like to say, Wesley, I just want to give a quick shout to everyone on the came. I want everyone on that came in. Make sure you follow Wesley, follow his live. You guys showed the live show. It went up to what it is. Shout out to I want to give a shout out to Wesley, Westcott Investment Team. They're the team that support me. Abdul Kamit, Copping Clinic. Give shout out to Moreno's, Carlos. Shout out to AMC, the Method Man. And shout out to everyone that's been supporting. And most importantly, big shout out to you, Wesley, as well. Appreciate you having me on the platform, man.
Oh, thank you very much, man. Bless up.
Thank you, man.
One love.
One love, Wesley, man.
And yeah, look forward to seeing you soon. Can't wait.
Looking forward to Wesley.
Yeah. Take care, my brother. Thank you. Bye-bye.